What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. I'm going to focus in on the tale of two North American countries at the WJC as Team USA, who has outscored the opposition 17-1 in the last two games, is moving on to the semifinals of the tournament, while Canada goes home after losing to Finland in the quarterfinals, not going to the semifinals for the first time since 1998. First of all, before we talk about the two North American countries, let's talk about the dynamic duo Finland has. Patrik Laine and Jesse Puljujärvi. Puljujärvi's got 15 points in 5 games. 3 assists against Canada. All due respect to my man Jacob Chychrun, I think he's sneaking his way into that top 2 discussion behind Matthews. That's just me. I'm probably going to do a mock draft before the end of January, so you'll get more information then. But the kid is dominating as, a 17-year-old draft eligible in the tournament that he led in shots on goal last year as a 16-year-old. So, not saying, just saying. And Laiane's a hell of a player in his own right, and will probably go in the top 6, but that's neither here nor there. My friend Dylan Strom, speaking of Canada, I think he ended the thing with 4 goals in 4 games, 5 games, something like that. So he had a good tournament. He's a good kid, so that's a good thing. But this Mitch Marner put on a show and then kind of had a breakdown. So Jake Virtanen looked out of place the whole time. I don't think he looked out of place. He just didn't look like he's a guy that's been in the show for the majority of the season. And it's just a tough blow of it, tough go of it, if you will, tough blow as well. But I think the one people are going to lambast the kids and all shit. Some Canadians, not the majority, don't have this opinion. I think there's an inferiority complex, and that they can't understand that the rest of the world has, I'm not going to say caught up to them as the top country in the world for hockey, but on any given game, any given tournament, and a fair amount of countries can be just as good. And you're going to throw the Olympics on shit. I'm just telling you right now, this is the reality of the situation for hockey in Canada as it relates to the rest of the world. The US, Finland, Russia, Sweden, to a certain degree the Czechs and the Slovaks, not as much, but you're picking up what I'm putting down. You see where I'm coming from with regards to that. Flip side of the coin, the United States of America moving on to the semifinals for the first time since they won the gold in 2013. I look at it as, I thought the team was kind of weirdly put together. I think I ranked them 4th going in. And they're playing great. Austin Matthews is 1 goal off from tying the record for most goals by an American in the tournament with 8. That's pretty cool. He's projected to go number 1. That's pretty cool. So the 2016 draft eligibles have really been putting on a show in this tournament. And I think where Canada hasn't dropped off in talent, but again, I think other countries in the world have gone up. You look at the stars for USA, whether it's Austin Matthews, Scottsdale, Arizona, Alex Nedokovic from Parma, Ohio. I mean, those aren't traditional hockey backgrounds. Those aren't Massachusetts, Michigan, or Minnesota. All these kids coming from different places, really doing so. I mean, I know Keith Kachuk's kid is Keith Kachuk's kid, Matthew, but still St. Louis, Missouri. Projected top 6-7 pick. So it's really the U.S. has benefited from the growth of the game on so many levels, and you get kids coming from more and more different places, and that are all pretty damn good players in their own right. So when places like Florida, like Arizona, and like California and Texas, wherever are producing these high-end players, it's like, we've got 50 states to draw some really, really good talent from, and I think the U.S. population-wise is obviously a lot bigger than Canada, and you're getting the cream of the crop rising on top, and it's like, so. And again, it's not to say Canadian hockey slipped off, but it's like, accept the fact that the rest of the world's getting better, and the U.S. is only getting better as again, the number 1 pick in the draft is going to be from Scottsdale, Arizona. Let that set in. So right now, Sweden, particularly if Michael Nylander comes back, is actually that Sweden-Finland game. That's going to be. I'm not knocking the U.S. and Russia, but those, for my money, have been the best 2 teams in the tournament. The U.S.-Russia game, I think the U.S. is going to beat the Russians. That's neither here nor there, but I think the winner of that Sweden-Finland game is winning the gold. I just like the way both teams are stacked up, and I really like what Finland's got. You put a gun to my head, I guess I'm picking the host. I know I just said Sweden. I will try to say Sweden, but I guess I'm picking the host country. I think Finland. I like what Lanny and Puljärvi are doing, and it's just so much talent on that team. And goaltending is always going to be good. And I guess I'm talking myself into it right now, but I think it'll be in order: Finland, the U.S., and Sweden, and then Russia for the top 4. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's our episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the season and beyond. Later, guys.